snap. People, we are live. Welcome to my show. If y'all don't know me, I'm Maddie from Top Rope Squishy, and I am here joined by the Midwest Marks. We got B-Max, we got Alex, and we have Eli in the house. Guys, say hello. Tell people where they can follow you, to subscribe to your channels. I have all your links in the description, people, also. So make sure you check out the description. All the links to follow these guys and their podcasts are in the description. Go ahead, guys. Introduce yourselves.
We finally made it work after trying to collab and get on screen. We did it. Hello, my name is Eli Guidi. I am with the Midwest Marks podcast, joined by these two amazing people as well. Go ahead and introduce yourself, guys.
Yes. My name is B-Mac, better known as the T-Spiller. And, y'all can follow me on Twitter at it's Milano_Mark with 4 B's. But please tune into the Midwest Marks podcast because I'm always dropping some tea and it's never stale. So make sure you don't miss it.
Well, hello there. This is Alex Coquito. I'm a guy that lives in Puerto Rico talking about life, love, stories, emotions. Find me at Alex Coquito on YouTube and Twitter, Coquito_Alex. Back to you, Squishy.
Awesome. I love that. Thank you. Guys, I've listened to the Midwest Marks and I've listened to Alex Coquito's podcast. You guys got to tune in. You're missing out. It's good shit. It's good. You got to tune in. These people know what they're talking about. Trust me, I'm entertained every time I tune in. So do the same. Make sure you subscribe. And of course, if you don't subscribe to my channel, what are you doing? Hit that button. Hit the like if you're in the room. Drop me a comment. I usually respond. And of course, check out the merch, y'all. Say what? That's my Squishtradamus merch. That's me asking the stars for help. Okay. Sound good?
We try to get where you are.
You try to get?
Yeah.
Y'all can't hear me? You can't hear me, B-Mac?
I can hear you.
Y'all can hear me? Okay.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we have a lot to break down because last night was a historic Dynamite, right? So before we do, though, I just want to say hi to the people in the room. Hey, Anna, DJ Storms, Courtney, Bobby. Thank you for joining. And if I'm missing somebody, I'm sorry. Listen, the way that Dynamite got started yesterday, I felt is the way you start a Dynamite. However, because it was the most explosive match of the night, in my opinion, they should have ended Dynamite. It should have main evented. But I digress. I had Danielson winning, but the majority of the people online were saying that there was going to be a double disqualification or a time limit draw, and that's exactly what happened. We had a time limit draw. So that was a long match, and there was a lot of chops and a lot of kicks. And then they started pulling all their maneuvers out of their butt. It was amazing. They went out on the plexiglass, and you got to give props to Omega because he really knows how to protect his wrestlers. I mean, that's why I think wrestlers put their trust in him to do these crazy ass moves because they know they're not going to potentially be injured. So what do you guys think? Let me know what y'all think about that match because that match was...
Well, on Brian Danielson's end, a lot of people thought he really hurt his arm when they did the suplex, and it kind of Kenny Omega's body landed straight on his arm, and he was selling it. He looked like he was legit hurt. There were moments, and I was like, Brian, you good, bro? And after the match, they found out, I asked him if he was okay. He was just selling because he's a fantastic professional wrestler.
Yes.
Seeing Brian Danielson is, and I know a lot of people are struggling with, not calling him Daniel Bryan from his former work, but
right.
Seeing him and seeing his work outside of WWE prior, people were doing the "you're gonna get your head kicked in" chant while they were there. I love that, and just that whole match. It was very long, and I did predict it was going to be a time limit draw, much like Alex, and it was a fantastic match. But they didn't even do anything, and the crowd noise was at the high.
Yes,
that was like. Yeah, it was the Rock versus Hulk Hogan vibes at WrestleMania. That kind of vibes. And for me, I'm glad they put it first.
Oh, you are happy with that?
Yeah.
It was a great opener.
It was a classic.
What do you think?
I literally think that it was.
B-Mac, you go. I'll say something next.
It was a 30-minute classic and a clinic. I have never seen a match like that on television in a long time. They wrestled a New Japan style type match on Dynamite, and I don't think people understand the ramifications of that that's going to have with that partnership moving forward in a good way. Oh my God, I was all over it. When they came out, I knew what the vibe was, and the crowd was lit, and they were ready to go. And he gave Kenny Omega all he could handle. And if that was 30 minutes, I can imagine what 60 minutes on pay-per-view is going to look like in a few months' time.
Oh, okay, we'll get to that,
Alex. Before I start, Eli, B-Mac, we forgot something yesterday.
What did we forget?
Shout out to Courtney Holland, the commenter on our prediction match video we had a couple of days ago. So shout out to you. And we know you're in the chat, Kiki.
Yes.
Also, you're in one of my new videos coming up. So watch out for that, Courtney. Now, let's put it like this. This was not, for all the E stands out there, the WWE stands, this was not Daniel Bryan fighting yesterday, ladies and gentlemen. This is Bryan Danielson. Daniel Bryan doesn't do a cattle mutilation. Daniel Bryan doesn't take your shoulder and run into the post. Daniel Bryan doesn't freaking stomp on your. Well, he kind of does that, but he doesn't focus on the arm and make it and become a heel. But you're still cheering. The vibe I got from the second the bell rang and the crowd popped for me was the Wyatt family Shield vibes. Like the second those guys met up and before they even touched, you got that vibration in the arena that was just monumentous. The second the bell rang in this match, the damn same vibration was going like crazy. Also, Bryan Danielson, chop kick, chop kick, chop kick, chop kick. He knew how to target it. He knew how to get it right. In the end, it made sense for a draw in the beginning of the match. Why? Because if you would have ended the match, the final match, with a draw, that means you ran out of time and no one would have saw the run in and everything else coming in, which would probably lead to a Jungle Express cage and Bryan Danielson versus the Elite.
Right.
If they're going to set it up because, again, Hangman didn't come out. That's fine. That's fine. But Hangman is going to come out. All we need is time. Key.
That's amazing. I love you. And I'm sorry, but I love the kiki. Like, I be doing that all day now. That's awesome.
I love it when he does that.
Isn't it awesome? It's just so Alex. It's just, if now you don't do kiki, I'm gonna be like, where is it? What's going on?
What are you doing?
Right.
So Cody came back.
Oh boy.
And got booed.
Oh boy.
Because New York don't play that patriotic stuff.
Listen, let me tell you something. That reminded me. That gave me a 1990s hood, ratchet as hell hip hop concert. He just did not give a damn who was there. They blew him like that was a hip hop concert.
Did he not look shocked?
Heat.
He looked shocked. What y'all thought? What y'all thought about that?
That crowd was when Cody came out. That crowd turned from civil to hood with the boos because they wasn't here for him at all. I'm like, all right now,
his return back.
Yeah.
He keeps saying that he wants to be a baby face. He wants to be that like John Cena kind of baby face with the kids, always giving the belt to the kids and everything. That's fine, but we've seen him as a face since the inception of AEW. Yeah, it's time for something new. He is overexposed. We've seen him lose as a baby face. We've seen him win as a baby face. It's time for something new. Yes, he's not burying people. That misconception is gone. Cody does not bury people. He has lost multiple times. That's not the issue. The issue is he has way too many matches, and even when he goes away and he comes back to face a younger or a new talent or someone that the crowd really loves, you don't want to see him win. I've said this on my podcast as well. It's time for him to go away for a little while. The only thing he should be coming back for is to renege on that championship title run.
As a heel.
Yes.
So when would you pull the trigger on him
exactly.
going away? Because, like, when do you put a trigger, like as far as him going away? Because I've seen comments on Twitter today saying that they felt like he took away from Malakai's buzz last night because he wasn't crushed in seconds like he was with Brody. Like, I've seen a lot of people upset by that because they're building Malakai up as a monster and they was expecting Cody to get squashed and that didn't happen. So maybe they feel like he kind of snatched some of that like intimidation presence from Malakai last night, which I disagree, but that's the consensus right now that he
Okay.
should have been
And
squashed versus getting all that offense.
you know what is the consensus? They can go have sex with a dog because off the bat, Brody is not Malakai, and Malakai is not Brody. You cannot compare one guy to another. Malakai is a freaking kickboxer from Norway, and Brody's a
Right.
guy from the States that's powerhouse and technical abilities. I'm sorry that Cody wasn't destroyed like in the first match. He learned. That's what wrestlers do with storylines. The babyface gets demolished in the first, and then he rockies up for the second. Except in this instance, he didn't win. Drago was smart and took a little bit out of the Great Muta, out of Tajiri, as B-Mac said in the podcast yesterday, in the Midwest Marks podcast. Of the fact of the matter is that if you, and by the way, Cody was being healed to the freaking ref. There's no one talking about that crap. He literally grabbed his head and just what? I'm like, oh wait, that's a DQ right off the bat.
Oh shit,
no, we're not saying that, right?
I didn't see that. I saw him mistakenly jab him in the eye, I think, but
that was moments before Malakai threw the mist. The second match before he threw the mist,
was nasty.
Cody pushed the ref and then went back to Malakai and then right there it was a roll up. But by the way, I hope Arn's okay. I think he fell on purpose, but if he didn't fall on purpose, it became a good storyline where you saw Brandy's face like, oh crap, oh
he fell.
Pissed.
I don't think it was on purpose.
That wasn't on purpose. That was not on
purpose. I think Arn Anderson slipped.
Like he fell for
real. You know what? It was a happy accident.
Yeah.
It's a happy accident. They take everything they got and they put it into a story.
Yeah, but it was a great match nonetheless. Malakai did the greatest things ever. He did the tentacles. Like I said before, Cody is fighting like WWE Cody. You don't want to become hated Cody? Stop becoming Triple H. Change it up and be better. If not, get the hell out of here. Go do your reality show and everything else. Which, by the way, I'm gonna say this: I might watch the reality show only for Ricky Starks because they're gonna address the times where he got his neck hurt, and they're really gonna follow him. I watched Tola Bellas not for the Bellas, but for Daniel Bryan. Okay, I admit that. So I'll watch this whatever Rhodes to the top for Ricky.
Nice.
That's it. Key.
Bro, I watched Tola Bellas for seeing all the divas. I'm just putting it out there. But I do want to see Rhodes to the top because we get to see backstage AEW. We get to see what's going on back there a little bit, a little glimpse back there. And
I have it calendared.
Be right back.
Okay, Eli, you're excused. I'm definitely looking forward to Rhodes to the Top, specifically for what Eli said, because you're going to get a lot of AEW action, a lot of wrestlers. There's going to be a little drama, a little bit of the stuff that you don't get to see, so I'm interested. I know they showed like something with Jade and Brandy talking where she was like, I just don't want any drama. And I'm like, oh my God, who the hell is she talking? So they found ways to get people interested. So yes, I am going to check it out. It's not a lie. I will be checking out Rhodes to the Top. Anyhow, in case anybody didn't see Cody versus Malakai Black one.
Thank God.
Thank God. I had Malakai Black winning. I did not see Cody being an EVP of a company who he's trying to elevate, beating down and winning against the guy that they're trying to put forward. Like, it wouldn't have made any sense. And Cody doesn't get a lot of credit, but he's really good at putting guys over. He put Ricky Starks came and had a match against him over. It was just like, boom. It's like when he was running that TNT belt, a lot of people got shine. And he doesn't get credit for that.
Yeah,
he doesn't get the credit for it. And I think it's because Cody has this other side that people don't like of him. You know what I'm saying? So it's just
we also need to give Cody credit because let's be honest, his reign as TNT champion, that's what got us Eddie Kingston and Ricky Starks officially signed to AEW. Had it not been for his reign, we would have not gotten them signed to AEW like as soon as we did. at the height of the pandemic at that. They would still be struggling, trying to find some work on the indies right now instead of being in AEW, being stars. So he gets all my credit for that because he definitely put them two over.
They did an open challenge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And don't forget Darby. That's the whole story with Darby from this when Darby came in AEW. That was all that whole story to him becoming TNT champion. That was Cody's. Well, Cody was a big part of that as well.
Miro's been a great champion, though.
Yeah. But at the same time, it wouldn't become Miro's chance to be dominant if it wasn't. Like, I understand when Cody was a champion, it did open challenges. Mm-hmm. I understand when Darby was a champion, he was a survivalist. He did anything he could to survive and just go from match to match to match to match to match.
Yeah, because he's like 2 feet tall and 5 pounds.
Yeah, but it only became like meaningful for me when it was Brody's. Because when he destroyed Cody for the belt and was just standing tall, you're like, holy crap. I mean, only the strong have this belt. It's not about the flashy, it's about the power. And then, Darby, like after that, blah, 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 blah. But now we're at Miro. We're at a point that I'm seeing not Brody in him, but the remembrance of the belt in him. The reason that you have the TNT belt. Not to be all flashy and cool, like if you're Starks and have the belt and not doing anything. Which, by the way, if you guys are not noticing, he has not defended the belt in a while. Not since Cage, obviously, but I think it's because he's probably still hurt. So it just makes sense to give him the belt, let him have it for a while, let him talk, because I don't think he's gonna fight Punk for maybe a month, maybe Full Gear. Because Starks versus Punk for Full Gear is a good matchup.
It is.
It is.
And the
promos
that's between both of them.
You got Hobbs now.
That would be
great.
Hobbs
now. You push Hook for at least 2 weeks, 3 weeks, then you fight Hook, then Starks comes in, and then you do challenges to Starks. I don't know, something like that. But the end result.
Who do you think is getting the TNT belt after Miro?
I don't know. That's the problem.
I have Sammy.
Not Sammy.
Sammy Guevara.
I have Sammy.
I know Eli. I know Eli is happy. And B-Match is
Sammy G has potential to cause upset next week.
Yeah.
He has potential to cause upset next week.
Yeah.
And I would not be shocked.
If it's Sammy, it makes no sense just out of nowhere one weekend. I'm going to fight you, and then you like.
It's not out of nowhere though. It's not.
Like a month ago. A month ago, he made a comment.
Well, first off, he didn't help Fuego del Sol when he got his ass kicked in his mask. He didn't come out the first time.
No.
And Miro
not out of nowhere. This is
he came out after to give him the contract.
Wow, what a friend. When he comes out twice.
I'll take the beating if my friend brings me a contract at the end.
Yeah. Come on.
But a month ago, Sammy made a comment that he was coming for gold. I don't know if y'all remember that. But he said it. And when he said it, I said TNT Championship. Right then and there. So when that was mentioned last week, I was like, it's happening already.
Because let's be honest, he's just as over as Miro is right now. And he's not even a champion. He's just as over as Miro. So I would not be shocked if they pulled the trigger on that. Like,
he's not as over as Miro.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, come on.
This guy has
lines
that go around
in the inner circle
just for him to sign stuff without him even wrestling.
I don't know, man.
He's pretty
I don't
over.
know.
Sammy's pretty over. People send him shit.
In terms of champions, do you really want Sammy Guevara to do the whole 10-time champ? He has defended obviously 9 times. Do you really see him as a champion that's going to defend it 9 times against 9 strong? I don't. I do.
Why wouldn't
I think
he's capable. Why wouldn't he? Like, he's capable.
Okay.
If you notice, we haven't seen a lot of Sammy Guevara matches. We haven't seen. We've
Courtney
seen
don't like Sammy at all.
I mean, shout out. Okay, let me explain why.
Courtney don't.
I can say right now before Eli gets mad. Now, let's say like this: if Sammy wins, let's what if Marvel this. If Sammy wins, yes, I know you have a Sammy. Okay, okay, I get it. You have the Sammy doll. Both you guys. What I'm saying is this. Now, if Sammy wins, who's gonna be the first 3 guys to step up?
MJF.
Pac.
That's one.
MJF.
The chairman, Sean Spears.
Kip
Okay,
Sabian.
fine. Okay.
Kip Sabian,
Sabian
harkening
might come
back to the first match they had in AEW.
And guess what? If Kip Sabian comes back, he destroys the whole storyline of getting revenge against Miro. So why would Kip Sabian goes after Sammy, but he would go after Miro first? So
Who
we take
said
Kip
he won't
Sabian
be
out.
showing up next week?
If he distracts Miro and makes Miro lose, that means the next card is going to be Miro versus Kip. Kip is not going after Sammy until he, storyline, guys. Come on.
Triple threat.
Murder Hawk is
Triple
who
threat.
I would like to take the belt.
Eddie
from
Kingston?
whoever is next.
Good match against Sammy. Ray Phoenix, great match against Sammy. Freaking Darby Allin again, sure. John Silver again, good. But at the end result, who's going to take it off Sammy? Who
Could be Murder
deserves
Hawk.
it?
It could be Murder Hawk, like Courtney said. I always wanted Murder Hawk to have it.
Why not have Pac do it?
Pac.
Oh.
That's a great idea, because then the triangle will all have belts.
Adam
Yeah, he's
Cole.
believable.
Adam Cole.
There's so many
Adam Cole
people.
There's a lot of people.
And Sammy's a baby face now.
Yeah.
So now he can go up against all these heels that he couldn't before, really, believably, because he was also a heel. Ooh, I want Sammy to have that belt so bad. Anyway. So MJF versus Pillman Jr. So this was a match that has been worked up for a while now. And I got to say, MJF is is he a good heel? I mean, he gets
Disrespectful much?
He is so disrespectful, but he's living it, yo.
He is.
And
he
I
is
love
living it. I got to give a shout out to Kyle. Hey, Kyle. What's up, Kyle? In the room. But yeah,
Hi, Kyle.
I don't know. This match, though.
Listen, the disrespect. Listen.
I knew MJF was going to win. He's the leader of the Pinnacle. It would make no
Yep.
sense for him to lose to Brian Pillman Jr.
Yeah.
Even though Brian Pillman is the face and the nice guy and the good guy, I did not see him winning at all. It would have made zero sense. The same way I felt that Jericho winning made 0 sense against MJF, but that's, I digress.
I still feel a way about him winning though, because I still feel a way about Jericho winning, because I feel like at some point he's going to have to retire, physically retire from the ring, because he's already 51. He don't have another 5 years in him, at least.
I don't think so, because he's
True.
not
When-
like in the best of shape.
Everything's going hard.
When do
So
you
let's,
pull the trigger and say, this is your last match?
I don't know,
And
man.
who's it going to
Ricky
be
Morton's
against? Because
kicking
I
ass
know
at
he wants to
60
battle Lance Storm.
What happened, Alex?
Ricky Morton's still kicking ass with Ricky Morton with it's kicking ass at 60 something. Sting is 62, and he wants to go a couple more. I mean, for them, age is not a number.
But Jericho is a championship type caliber star, though. He's going to win another championship run. He's going to win another run at the championship. How do you say, as a boss, Jericho, we're not doing that?
Because, I don't think he should get another one. Because you have all this young talent. This roster is bloated at this point. Like, you have to start giving it to the younger people. And I don't mean to be like, if you're old, no more belt for you. But he already had it.
Yeah.
Like, you held it already. Pass the baton. Here, pass it to the next guy. And I get it. How over would MJF have been? How much more over? How established, how cemented would his leadership as the Pinnacle leader have been?
He would be on his Kanye West. Y'all can't tell me ish right now. All right.
So, tell me.
Well, here's something else, you guys. If he would have won against Jericho, then automatically he would have lost against Pillman.
No.
It would be an even bigger beatdown.
Not necessarily.
In my opinion.
He can't win against Jericho and then win against Pillman. There has to be something of a stake. There was a stake against Jericho against MJF because there was a stake of pride in trying to win.
You have to beat Jericho and Pillman and further build his dominance.
I don't know.
As their next champion after him and Page.
Anna, facts.
Oh, by the way, shout out to MJF's parents that were in the crowd that said that we're MJ's parents, and they even said it. F him. We're sorry that we made him. We apologize. His parents were cold-blooded, dude. You saw that too, Eli? That was cold-blooded.
His parents sold him out.
On Facebook for everybody.
He probably told his parents to do that.
Squishy, I 100% agree with you. I was I was at All Out, and I really thought this was Chris Jericho's last match. I thought it was. I didn't see MJF losing, because they've been. If you looked at the booking, he's never like legitimately lost. And I thought they were gonna keep that momentum. He's being the top heel who's never lost. Yeah, he talked all the crap, but he's they didn't pull the trigger on that. When they pulled the trigger on, I'm like, okay, where does this go? Where does this take Chris Jericho? Like, and now he's in the feud going against the American Top Team. Like, I don't know if that was the right decision. With MJF though, I'm hoping after this he goes for the TNT title. He's already had the title match against Moxley. I'm hoping he goes somewhere else with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I felt like there was such a momentum. It was such an opportunity for MJF, and it got lost, because if nothing else, Jericho will always be involved in wrestling. His mic skills are second to none. I mean, he's just really good on the mic. It's so natural to me, the way he just spits whatever he's saying. It just rolls off his tongue. I love his promos. I could be in the middle of anything, even if I'm in the bathroom and all of a sudden a Jericho promo comes up and I'm like, because it's just that good. So I was looking forward to him being more of just a commentator, coach, and management, and being that asshole on the side of the ring, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really thought this was going to be his transition, but hey, it didn't happen that way. So Britt Baker put her belt on the line against Ruby Soho. Ruby Soho got a chance of an opportunity of a lifetime, I think, to go and try to get this belt, which we all knew she wasn't going to get because Thunder's taking it, obviously, in Revolution. At least that's what I think, and I've been saying this for over a year. Even before she got signed, I've been saying that Britt Baker was going to win the belt, and then Thunder was going to take it from her. So that's where I stand. However, the match was pretty good. I love Britt Baker, but I didn't feel it had main event caliber, even though Britt Baker does have the caliber to do a main event very well. This match didn't do it for me as a main event. What do you guys think?
For me, I'm glad they did this, because I mean, I'm never gonna sour on any like a women main eventing. Never. Like, I'm like, okay, but I do get like it was, a kind of forlorn conclusion. We all knew Britt Baker was gonna win this match,
Yes.
but they still put on a hell of a match. That air raid crash was ungodly. That was amazing to see. But when it comes to this, I do think you're right. I think the end game is Thunder Rosa. They've already had that. For me, that's a 5-star match that they had between Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker.
The lights out match?
Yes, the lights out match. That was amazing. I've never seen a women's match hit that hard ever since maybe Sasha and Bailey back in NXT.
Up here, of all the matches I've seen, this
tier,
right next to the parking lot brawl.
Top tier. And right now, Britt Baker, she's hated, but so many people are behind her. Quick little fun story: when I went to the press conference to go at when they came to Chicago for All Out, Britt Baker, I came from my car to go get something, and I was coming back in. Britt Baker was walking, and she saw I had my title. I'm all marked out and everything. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like AEW, yeah. And I saw her smile at me, and then she quickly turned and like was frowning and had a face of disgust. And I'm like, hey Britt. And her or whoever was with her, she was like, oh, she's done for the day. And she's like, yeah. And Britt Baker just looked away at me. And I just like,
she didn't want to talk to
you. You're doing the right thing, Britt. You guys have a great day. Have a nice day.
She went heel on you.
She did, and I'm so proud of her for that. I accept it.
She's the heel that everybody loves. Nobody boos her. Indeed. So weird. It's an accomplishment, usually heels want to get booed. That is how they know they've successfully become heels. That's why when MJF comes in the ring and he gets in the corner, he goes like this. He just wants to hear it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think MJF, he's going to be the top heel for the next 5 to 10 years to come if they keep building him the way they are, because I don't see nobody as disrespectful on the microphone as him right now as a heel, male or female. Yeah, and for him to be only 24,
Yeah, that's crazy. That's the crazy thing. What about you, Alex? What you thought about the Ruby Soho match?
I'm actually going to agree with you here, Squishy. It wasn't a great match. It was a great match in the sense that it was a good back and forth. Ruby Soho did get robbed down in the comments. I don't know. I didn't feel it. I mean, it was only like a 3-week build, one good talking. Well, I'm glad that you booed her, Courtney.
But Courtney, who did you boo? I think she booed Britt Baker.
We should boo DMD.
Yeah, she doesn't like Britt Baker.
Rude.
I'm gonna have to disagree with that because I actually like the match. For me personally, Ruby Soho showed why she belongs in AEW because the girl can wrestle for real. And she got right to the point last night and went straight at Britt and wasn't afraid to do so. And the fact that, she was able to shake off that rust and she didn't have an Andrade moment because it took him until Pac to shake off that WWE rust. Like, let's just keep it real. Yeah. She didn't have that problem. She was ready to go from the gate. And I'm like, oh, this is why I like AEW because they got women who can actually wrestle. Yes, some of them are still green like the Judias of the world. But see, I can overlook her right now and go straight to Ruby because that's where the main attraction is going to be at. And the fact that Tony Khan, again, I made a comment last night on Twitter. The social media warriors just have to shut their mouth and trust this man and let him build this division the way that he needs to build it because he's actually doing what he needs to do the long way and it's going to pay off because they don't have a PC, but look at when you have the Serena Deebs of the world helping train you. How can you fail?
Serena Deeb.
We haven't seen in a while.
Where has she been? She's
so for that, right? I say, and then let's talk about the fact that they're finna introduce a second championship, which will be officially titled the TBS Women's Championship. Hello?
Yes.
But Tony Khan don't care about the division. All right.
Tell them why you mad. They need another belt.
There's too many women. It's like we already saw from the Battle Royal, there's more than 20 women that's already signed. So you need a second belt and you need a tag team belt. You need to give respect to the females because one belt for 20 women makes no damn sense.
Crown for champion.
Yeah.
What? I said Chris Statlander. That makes the most sense for me.
Why not Ruby Soho?
Nah.
I'm thinking Ruby.
You think Ruby is better than Chris in the ring? Really?
Oh, that's a hard one because they're both amazing.
We haven't seen them wrestle yet, so we can't say that.
Can Ruby do what Chris Statlander does? I mean, you got Chris Statlander doing 450 splashes. Chris Statlander
Here's my list.
Like a male's caliber almost. Like this is.
You have 4 or 5 girls that they could crown for as champion. I'm gonna name them off. Serena.
I was gonna say Deeb is also a good choice. Yeah.
Serena. Riho, Shida, Tainara, Chris Statlander.
No for Riho.
No for Riho. She's the first AEW women's champion. No for Riho.
I don't want to see Riho with another belt. I like
Riho
her.
Is the second over female in the division after Britt. You're not crowning that?
When it started.
She's the first AEW women's champion.
And she can make anybody look good. You're not putting that on her.
But you don't want to. Why would you give that to her when she's already been the first AEW women's champion?
Why not make it like the Stardom Championship? What's it like? The red one is the work rate belt.
I see what you're saying. Rio is that talented, but you want to give it to a new person. Have the belt feel fresh and new.
It's not her than who? Chris. Because I can see
Chris Statlander, Ruby Soho, Shida. I'd be okay with Shida.
Well, no, because
but you know what? Shida was a pandemic.
I'm happy to counter what you just said because Shida was the AEW Women's Champion. Why put it on her but not Riho? Because they both was former AEW Women's Champions.
I'm saying that she was the first AEW Women's Champion. You want to have something new for that belt to make it feel fresh. You don't want to put the same.
Kenny's not the TNT champion. Eli's right. Kenny's not the TNT champion. Kenny's the AEW champion, and he'll probably never go for the TNT champion. Not for like maybe 5 or 6 years down the line. That's the IC belt. You don't want Riho and Shida go from championship to the IC belt. You want something different. I understand that. So we take those two out of the equation. Let's really think about this, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Look, the five people I think that could be the TBS champion: Abaddon, Anna Jay, Conti. Hold up. Jade in a year, in a year.
Who was
not
your
now.
third?
Okay,
Who was your third?
That's fair.
I missed your third.
Anna Jay, Conti, Abaddon.
Jay.
Abaddon only Abaddon if she's with the House of Black as a representative. Like, hey, this is Malakai representing her
That goes.
as a champion.
Let me tell
Jade
you one, like I said.
or
Okay.
Kayla Rossi. Because
Who?
Kayla Rossi looks fit and she can go. So I can
Kayla-
imagine her.
No. Let me tell you why not. Because we ain't seen this girl wrestle like an actual match yet. She gonna have to prove herself. I'm not throwing that title on her. No, ma'am. We're not doing that. That's charity.
No.
And this ain't WWE. Mm-mm.
Oh,
Listen.
But now here's why. Like I said, no to Abaddon. Abaddon green as shit.
I agree. And I feel the same way about Anna Jay.
If you're going to establish a championship,
And I like
let this
them,
be the work rate
okay.
championship. Let this be for the girls who can go. Abaddon ain't
Well,
that
at
girl.
the same
She's
time,
not.
Julia can't go for shit, and guess what? There's a storyline with Abaddon, and there's no storyline with Julia.
I'm not
Abaddon has
campaigning for
never
Julia.
lost.
I want some
only
wrestling.
the
I don't want to
champion.
see no pretty faces. I just want to
That's
see
a good
girls who
storyline.
could go.
Abaddon
I
doesn't
don't
have
know,
any
man.
losses. No?
Abaddon has only lost to champions. She's lost to Sheeta twice,
Mhm.
and Nyla Rose, I think, once.
But let's
Nyla's
be
another
honest
one.
though, Alex.
Nyla
If they're
could be
gonna
another one.
treat this championship as a serious belt, they need somebody who can go. Abaddon is green in the ring. She is not that
And she
girl.
won't be
I'm
able to
telling you.
carry it
But like
like
I
that.
said,
Well,
if she's with the House of Black, if they're there kind of like being the outside group, kind of like intimidating the girls at the same time, which gives her purpose to overpower the girls.
So
'Cause
she's
right
winning by
now,
squashes as a champ. No, ma'am.
yes.
No,
No.
I agree with Abaddon though, because they have been telling a story with her booking. She's only
Yeah.
lost 2
That's
champions.
fact.
So
That's
that,
fact.
but like I feel like that, like whenever they do introduce it, they might have if they introduce it now and like work to that point, she gets more ring matches, she get more ring time. I
And
think
that's what I'm
Abaddon would
saying.
work.
That's
Okay, taking
yeah,
Abaddon
because that's
out.
what I'm saying. You know,
Taking
see,
Abaddon out.
They get Abaddon out.
yeah, because I'm trying to look at it like
not
from a
the
booking
stirring up
perspective,
girl.
you know, because IWC, the
Not
first thing
her.
gonna say is, oh, why they put it on Abaddon? That girl can't wrestle her for shit. And then that's gonna be a whole nother shitstorm that we don't need. We
Okay.
just got to the
Hey,
division.
there was a bad thing with Darby. Like, oh, look at this scrawny little look at the scrawny little guy. He's
But
like,
Darby can actually wrestle though. That's the
Alright.
difference.
You
but
don't have
there was
anyone else,
still
right,
that
Alex?
stigma.
What about
They-
Bunny?
No!
Bunny?
Why
Hell
not? Bunny's a
no.
good wrestler.
Oh,
Bunny's a good wrestler.
nah, she's overexposed. Bunny needs to.
I was in a
She's
DM this
overexposed.
morning saying how much I am not into the bunny wrestling.
If I'm gonna put it on somebody, I'm gonna be honest. Because
I'm not putting that on
AEW showed us last night that they are about work rate. Tony Khan loves wrestling. You can look as good as you want to look, but if you can't wrestle, he's not putting you on TV.
That's true.
Give it to Rosa. Perfect.
So
No, Thunder Rosa is taking the AEW championship.
That holds her off for
You
6
can't get-
months.
listen,
Yeah.
you
And then when
can't
she
give it to
loses,
Thunder Rosa
she
because
goes
she's
to
going out
Brett.
with Britt next. You don't take her out of that story with Britt and put her. No, ma'am.
It's Ruby
She's not
Soho.
fighting for in March.
It's Ruby
I said
Soho.
in the
They
podcast
told the
yesterday.
story
It
last
don't
night.
matter.
It's Ruby Soho. They
It
told
don't
it
matter.
last night that she
Yeah.
can go in the
Okay.
ring.
Okay, a question for all you guys and ladies. Who is Britt gonna fight next? Who the
Jade.
hell is Britt gonna fight next?
Jade.
She hasn't gone.
No.
Jade. Jade.
Not
Why?
there yet.
No.
It's Jade.
No.
Next.
No.
Give me another one.
No.
Give me another one. Come on, guys.
You're not putting Jade versus Britt because they
Okay.
are protecting Jade. You're not
Who
doing
else,
that.
Brandon?
What
Who
about
else?
Diamante?
Diamante?
Why not Serena?
Not even at
Why
the
not
level.
Serena?
Not even at the level of Britt. This is Britt. This is Diamante. We're not there
It's
yet. Get her
somebody
out,
that-
man.
Serena.
It's
Well,
someone that
if-
can lose,
Why-
though, Alex.
Serena's doing
It's
something
someone that
else,
can lose.
and she's
It's
not
someone
signed to
that can lose.
AEW. So maybe.
Listen. You want Britt to have her best match. Put her versus Serena D. She get out wrestled,
that.
but she go look
But
good
she-
at the same time.
They're both
But
heel,
he's the
though.
heel.
They're both heel.
He's the heel. Exactly. You can't bring D,
They're both
man.
heel.
And
Turn into a
this
straight up
isn't
heel.
like
I love it.
we're
I
stretching
love
this out to March.
Heel versus heel.
We
It
are
could work,
stretching
though,
this
because
shit
Britt
out
is a
to
little
March
bit of a
and
babyface.
okay,
It could
okay,
work.
Okay, so
storyline.
why not put her versus Tanara?
Okay.
She's doing the tag team
All right,
thing with
that
Anna
works.
Jay right now. She already had a
You're
shot.
right. You're right.
They're not
She's with the
debuting them
Bunny
tag
and
team
Anna
titles
Jay
no
and
time
Penelope
soon. She
Ford.
can take a loss. She can take a loss.
Okay.
So give me one person, each of you, just one, that's gonna get the TBS belt first. The woman. Just
Be
one.
realistic.
I'm going with Abaddon because it's a secondary title, and they've had had that story already built. Like she's never lost unless there was a champion. She's only lost to a champion. They've been telling that story in the background. Now give it whatever the title is brought out next year. Start building that up. I think Abaddon. I would like to see Swole too,
I'm not
but
putting
I
that
think
on her
Abaddon.
because
Swole, maybe.
I would put that on the girl who can work.
Swole as a
And I would
TBS
put that
champion.
on Chris Statlander.
TBS
I would put it on Chris Statlander before Abaddon.
Thank
Because Chris can actually work in the ring. Chris
Very
Statlander
well.
would get that before Abaddon. You not
Chris-
jumping her over Abaddon. No.
Chris is missing one fact.
I got one. It's Swole. It makes sense. She's a talker and she can go. You need a talker. The TNT champion is about talking. Miro is a talker and can go, right? Kenny is a talker and can go, right? The tag
she's
team
not a
right now are
Bell
talkers
girl,
that can go.
She's not a Bell girl. I'm telling you,
She's
if
not
you
a Bell
want to
girl,
establish
but
this correctly,
you don't need
if you want to establish this correctly,
look, for the
listen,
TBS,
if you're going to establish a championship correctly, make it be about work rate. Make it be about the girls who can actually prove it.
Well,
Swole is a botch fest. Swole is a botch fest from time to time.
Straight up. That's my one. That's my one. Tainara Conti. Because if you go by work rate alone,
let's just be honest about that.
We're almost getting to the Grizzled Vets. Sheeta's only 9 wins away to become a Grizzled Vet. Conti's only 12 wins away to get to a Grizzled Vet. They're getting there. So if you go by work rate, it has to be Conti. She has to have the TBS.
And I'll be totally fine with that. I would be fine with that. But
I think for Britt, it's going to be Conti who's up next. It makes sense. Anna Jay is focusing on somebody else right now, and Conti is focusing on the bunny. But finish that crap.
So this is why I love being on this podcast, because we can disagree, but still, like had a respect.
You find one road is blocked, you go another way. We jump over.
I would not put it on Abaddon, and I would not put it on the
Hey, there's so many they could go with. There's so many they could go with, and I trust AEW. That's what's so great about this company. You can put it on anyone. They could probably
2
make it
years
work.
ago because they weren't there.
Yeah.
Eli, you just said something that I don't even think you caught yourself saying. You just pointing out the depth in the women's division, sir.
They've got.
We would have not been able to have this conversation. This conversation 2 years ago would have went nowhere because they were nowhere near like they are now.
I honestly already have the AEW women's belt, like I've said in my other shows, already planned out straight to 2023. That's why when you're calling out Thunder for the TBS belt and people that I have lined up for the AEW belt, I'm like, no. So to me, it's Britt Baker, it's Thunder, then it's Jade. Then it's Chris Statlander straight into 2023 for the end of 2023. Order. Now the TBS belt can start with Chris Statlander because she is established. She needs to work on her promos. I love Chris Statlander. Her and Thunder are my favorite wrestlers ever. So besides Proud and Powerful, you can say something.
Terrell, I love you in the comments, but why would you put Leva Bates' name as a name for the TBS champion? Yes, look at the comments.
He was trolling. He was trolling.
Terrell, no. Wait.
What the hell?
Where's Terrell? Wait, Terrell.
No.
Leva Bates. Come on, man.
No.
I'd rather have that girl Rochelle Chanel. That girl used to come to the ring with the Prada bag and then lay down the thing. I'd rather have her try to come up than come on, man.
Terrell, we love you, Terrell. We love you. The comments are fun. The comments are
fun.
Let
me ask you this question, honestly. Because we know Dynamite is staying, like Dynamite is moving to TNT on like January the 5th. Would you start that tournament for that TBS championship that same week it moves?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bring back the tournament that they did last time or something.
Something new. Would you debut that tournament that same week for the TBS women's title?
Absolutely.
I would.
Started with a bang.
Yeah. And if they're smart, they can do the Eastern Bloc too, with Japanese people over there fighting over there too.
Oh my God! Like they did
before. Because where is the
magical
girl? Where's
not.
the
Oh, and
magical
let's
girl?
talk about the fact
You
that
got all these stardom girls
listen.
that are not
Let's
doing
talk about
anything.
the fact that like Rhea Mizunami, she's going to be coming back to AEW real soon to compete in AEW, so she could be in that tournament.
Rio's all right for me. I
Yeah,
prefer the
same.
magical
Real
girl.
okay.
I prefer
It's
the
a
magical
unique.
girl.
It's unique. Yeah, I know.
She's great.
Yeah.
The
It's
magical
like
girl
I'm
can
saying,
go.
Emmy's a good
yeah, but yeah,
wrestler.
like I
I
would
don't like
definitely
her
debut
gimmick.
that tournament
Emmy's
on the
a good
5th of
wrestler.
January
Yeah.
on TBS.
Emi
Yeah.
Sakura? Emi Sakura is amazing. I mean, you got to remember, she
Oh my
trained
God, she could be
Sheeta.
the
She
champion.
trained
What?
the magical girl. No, she can't be the
She could be.
champion.
Listen, she could be a contender for the champion. She got
She could
26
be a
years left.
contender, but I don't know that she's gonna get it.
But not a champion. A contender, sure, but not a champion. I mean,
I-
I'm looking at it realistically. You gotta look at it from the fact that if you're a champion, you gotta talk and you gotta bring it for the audience.
Yeah, and she
And-
don't cut
and Emmy
promos
is
that either,
good,
just like Sheeta.
but
Yeah,
not-
that's
Emmy's
true.
not good
That's
for the.
true.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like, I actually want to see the storyline where Lulu revolts against Emmy and beats the crap out of Emmy. That's not happening.
Listen.
That's not happening for another 3 to 4 months. Shout out to Eddie Kingston. He loves
Mhm.
Lulu. So, I want to put that out there. All I'm saying is this. The women's division, B-Mac is right. Women's division 2 years ago was trash. All we had was like 6 girls. Now
Mhm.
we have 20 plus women coming in that are going to come in by the bunches, seeing
And
how
Tony Khan did
WWE
just say, hold up, wait, let me point this out. Tony Khan said in his interview last week, I don't know if y'all paying attention, he has more girls that's getting ready to come in.
He did say
He didn't
Exactly.
say who, but he did say he's got some new girls getting ready to debut
that's
real
gonna
soon.
be exciting. That's gonna be
and
exciting, guys.
Kayla Rossi, who's in the wings, that's not doing anything but just beating the crap out of
Oh my God, I like to say.
showing her, getting her reputation up as a man
I can't wait
beater
for
up
them to
her.
pull the trigger on
Well,
her.
let's go, man.
I
At
can't
the
wait for
same
them to pull
time,
the trigger on Kayla.
And they, they're working with Sky Blue, they're working with Kira Hogan, so they are working with a lot of new
Yes.
talent.
good.
You've
They're
been
good.
seeing Queen Amanada, in
Yeah.
Dark. There's a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent. These women can go.
Yeah.
You
Even that
understand?
one girl that works. Yeah. There's one girl
Oh,
that
We talking about
I remember her.
Kiara.
Rosa
Yeah, Kiara.
Negra?
Mhm.
No, not Kiara. There's another girl.
La Rosa.
big
Well,
girl.
Oh,
La Rosa Negra.
Angelica.
I don't know if she's
Yeah.
been
I think
on.
that was something else. Like just like whatever. It's just like this.
You
And
talking
we
about
still
like
got,
Angelica Rich.
the fake Goku, and we got the scout leader, and we have Green. Who's the guys that we saw yesterday? I think it was on the tag team against FTR on Tuesday. Who were those guys?
Rogers,
Green
Stallion Rogers, and I forgot the other guy.
Mhm.
and Green.
And they can
Those
go. Oh my
guys.
God, I was impressed by
Anyone
them.
that loves AEW wrestling, go to Dark, find that match. It was a great match. FTR barely won. They didn't win. They barely
I gotta
won.
look
We
that match up.
never seen FTR struggle to win. They did that night.
Well, FTR went up against Darby and Sting last night, and that's the
Oh my
last match we have to
God.
talk
What?
about. And shout out to
Let's
my
talk about
sister
it.
Anna, who's in the chat. Darby and
Anna.
Sting
No.
are her favorite.
Right.
Kiki. She loves it. Kiki. She loves Darby and Sting. She thinks they go so well together, and they
Oh,
absolutely
yeah.
do. She likes the darkness about them, and they won
Mhm.
last night, as I predicted. They would.
Listen, when I tell you, see, I didn't grow up with Sting when he was like in his prime. So for me to see him now at 62 wrestling better than he did when he was in his prime,
I saw him when he
listen,
was in his
sir,
prime.
you better get all of your coins.
Cha-ching.
Because he was, listen, I was for him last night. I was loving him. I'm like, wait a minute, like, where's his energy coming from for you to be 62? I'm like, all right.
Yes, he's a older
Listen.
dude.
I had them to lose, Sting and Darby. I love Sting.
Right.
I'm so
Okay.
glad he can still wrestle. I'm so glad he can still go. I thought they were going to start a storyline Sting versus Darby. There's been little rumors of like maybe that's going to happen at Full Gear. Looks like they're going another direction with that. And FTR being one of those better tag teams, I thought they would have come out with the win, but I was surprised they got the win.
Did you
on
notice how, Eli? Did you notice how when him and Darby first came out, it looked like Darby didn't even want to dap him up?
Yeah, he was like, I'm whatever. I'm down for whatever. I love about Darby.
Listen, Tony Khan is planting a seed with that.
Oh shit! I gotta go back. You have to understand. Yesterday, I was watching it and I was also distracted. because I said I wasn't gonna be on Twitter, but I was.
Girl,
So
I was all
I
over Twitter.
missed,
I was trying to watch it. Listen, I could
I
not.
missed some shit.
I
And I'm
cannot.
sitting here, y'all telling me this stuff, and I'm like, gotta go back. Let me take a note. I gotta go back and check this out. What happened? I missed some
Listen, when him
things.
and Darby came out last night, it's as if though they played it off so well, but Darby had to kind of force himself to depth staying up because he was not feeling that. And I was like, wait a minute, are they
I didn't
planting
catch that.
the like Caesar dissension here?
So Eli and B-Mac, you caught that. Coquito, did you
Mhm.
get that?
Yeah, it's like I predicted it, Eli. Huh?
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
whatever.
Either way, it was a good match. It was a good match. It was a good match.
I'm not acknowledging this. I'm not
Listen,
Roman right now. I'm not Roman right now.
listen, we're gonna
But
deal with that on
but
Friday, all right? But
but
listen,
at the
yeah,
same
I
yeah,
saw that. And I'm like, wait a
it
minute,
was
what's
that.
going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
It
when
was a good
Sting
matchup.
came off the ropes though, up with a top rope with for the crossbody, I said, Sting at 62, boy, you better.
He did.
He
And he
did.
did. And it was a
He took a
Okay.
massive.
pile driver. He took a pile driver last week, didn't he?
He did.
Mhm.
Yes, he did. He took a
Sting
couple
can
pile
go.
drivers.
Sting can
Yeah.
go. Christian Cage can go. He
It's-
came back better. Like those 7 years did Christian Cage miracle.
True.
And so did
super-
Sting, because
Sting
for
did
all we know,
super.
Sting was done. We had no idea
Yeah.
he was coming back to wrestle. I
People
thought
were
he was
making fun
done.
of Sting when
Yeah.
Brian Cage
Now-
powerbombed him and showed like him like in the air like looking at the ceiling like
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
okay, well Sting's done,
Now,
but no,
let's
he
also
came
point
back
out the
and
fact
killed
because
it.
He was so
now that point, see again, Eli, you brought up another point. That shows you how AEW is treating their legends versus how WWE is treating theirs.
True.
Yes,
True.
they got these guys winning, but they're not putting championships on a 62-year-old Sting. But Goldberg is 55 with a championship. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. It's to promote someone else. That's the point of AEW. If the old guy's there, you promote something else.
I
Taz
like what
is
they
there
do.
to promote Hobbs and
Yeah.
Hook.
They're using their
No.
management. Oh, there you go,
And Cody
Courtney.
said it best.
Yes.
Cody
You got the
give
belt.
people give Cody listen.
Always.
People give Cody such a
I
hard
represent.
time, but
Yeah.
Cody said it best. He said, "We don't want legends to be who they were 30 years ago. We want them to be who they are today at their current age." So I'm not expecting 64-year-old Jake Roberts to come in and be like on DDT and people all over the place. I'm expecting him to come in and be who he is today, which is like a promo guard still.
Listen,
And that's
yeah,
what you want your legends to be.
that's true. And you don't want them to be holding belts because what's the future?
Mhm.
What's the future story there? The
Exactly.
future of the division are the 20s and the young 30s. You have to build those guys up because they literally
Mhm.
have 10, 15, 20 years of good wrestling left in them. That's not to say
And
that
we
you
ain't even
kick the
talked
old
about that
people out.
Earnhardt
You
Cup
don't.
yet. Listen, we ain't even talked about the Earnhardt Cup tournament that's going to be there.
Oh yeah, let's
AEW's version
quickly
of
cover
New
that.
Japan.
Let's quickly cover that. What do you guys think about that really quick?
Eli, you go first.
As someone who like found out about Owen Hart, like after finding out about Bret Hart and just going back and watching his matches, and like a time like when I was in middle school to high school, I used to watch pay-per-views, watching stuff on YouTube, finding out what happened. And when I came across what Owen Hart's fate was,
Mhm.
I was
Mhm.
devastated. I didn't think that anybody would ever something like that would ever happen. And then finding out like what happened that led after that, all the lawsuits and all the big fallout. You could just see,
Dark
okay,
side of the ring is something else.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and they
So-
still got to get into canyons tonight.
Into what?
Into a canyons tonight.
What's that?
It's tonight.
Wait,
Oh.
isn't that tonight?
Oh, I didn't know. So I thought it was like every Wednesday.
And Ric Flair's on that one too, y'all.
Woo.
Oh yeah, they were talking about that on Twitter. That he was like, "Oh, you know, I said that without understanding what I meant to say. Boy, you just messed up, and now you double down on it. Okay, sure, double down on it.
Listen,
Sure.
but back to the tournament, though, y'all. Listen. Back to the tournament. This is going to be AEW's version of the New Japan G1 Climax with their young lions. Do y'all understand? We could potentially get Lee Moriarty,
Yeah,
Daniel
Lee Moriarty.
Garcia, Dante Martin, his brother too, whenever they pull the trigger. Powerhouse Hobbs, because he's young enough.
Ooh.
Starks, MJF,
Mhm.
Sammy G, Jungle Boy.
Mhm.
And that's
Yeah.
only 9. And that's not, do you know? That's
Bring
only
these
9
people
of
in.
that deep
Bring these
roster.
people in. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
you
looking
need
forward to it.
32. At least a 26 or a 28 or a 30 or a 32 man
And
tournament.
Pillman Jr. He could be in the mix. What?
I agree.
That's
I
10.
agree.
I'd rather have Phoenix. I'd rather
That's
have Phoenix
10
than
of their
Pentagon
current
Jr.
young guns and that's still not even half of who they got.
No, that's true. That's true.
Right.
They got
All the other guys.
they have a crazy young core that's coming down the pipeline when the Kenny Omegas and them retire. That's going to be a sick division in 2 to 3 years.
And like Courtney said, what a way to honor Owen Hart by doing this.
Mhm.
And they've got the okay from the Hart family, and that's so great. And we get to see him maybe in video games and whatnot.
No. I can confirm, Eli, because you know me being a T-spiller, sir. I'm gonna have to check you on that, but it's all in love, sir. He will be officially in the official AEW video game. They got confirmed in the press release, and he will be getting his official AEW action figure toy too.
That's true.
Thank you, B-Man. But as far as everyone's been compensated financially, whatnot. This has been a healing from the fans of Owen Hart.
Yes.
AEW is healing the wrestling world. This is something that they wanted to see Owen Hart in the Hall of Fame. They wanted to see Owen Hart be praised for what he did for wrestling. And this is the perfect way to do that.
His wife wasn't going to allow it with WWE because of the history there. And me, I don't like to backtalk any other corporations or companies or anything like that, because I always say watch what you like. There's something for everybody. There's no reason for anybody to be jaded with wrestling, because anywhere you turn, you're gonna find something you like. But this is beautiful that they were able to do this. Some people were saying this makes no sense. It's a wrestling company with someone who owns it that has been a wrestling fan since he was a kid, and had this probably in his mind to do for quite some time. Everybody that's an EVP is also a wrestler. So these people have been involved, and this is part of history. They want to be a part of this, and what a wonderful thing to do. I mean, I was like, wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. So guys,
if we think about it this way, think about it like this. When I was a kid, I saw that live when Owen Hart was murdered. Well, he was killed and he fell down. Yeah, and that was traumatic. So people that want Owen Hart to be remembered are people that knew that Owen Hart from 96 and up or 94 and up. And at the same time, he's one of the 4 people that you can put in your hand are the type of wrestlers that have not one bad thing said against him. Eddie, Owen Hart, Brody Lee, and I think one more, I forgot what his name was. And the guy from Crime Time. That guy.
Shaq Gaspard.
Shaq Gaspard.
Oh,
4 guys on your hand, you can say that they should be honored, but only 3 of them are honored. Because let's be honest, we all seen the dark side of the ring of Owen Hart. We all knew that it was Vince McMahon's fault. No matter how we want to spin it, the facts and the data and the police reports were there. It was all his fault for saving money. His wife knew that, and he doesn't want to, and she doesn't want the same company that killed him to honor him. That's just logic. That
makes sense.
Now, this is what shocked me about all this news when I first heard about he died. I heard that he had died, yes, but I never knew until now in 2021 that Vince McMahon actually sued her after he died.
Yes.
How could you, sir?
Yeah.
Yes,
I never knew that.
It is ugly on the other side, y'all. And when I say the other side, I mean the back end where nobody.
I never knew he sued her. All I heard was, he died at the pay-per-view, and that was it. I never knew that he actually sued her and blamed her for his death.
I have a question. Kiki. Now this is not an if question. This is a when question. When do you think it's going to be okay to let David Benoit join wrestling?
Oh my God! And that's another one. He's paying for his father's mistakes.
Is that Chris Benoit's son?
Yes.
Yeah.
He should be able to join it today. That's not his.
That's
not his father's.
He's in wrestling promotion right now. He joined a wrestling promotion very recently.
Wait, Eli, I want to hear what you would say something. Please say it.
He joined a wrestling promotion very recently. He's wrestling right now. He's training pretty much.
Why not? Chris Benoit was an excellent wrestler. What happened to him was unfortunate. It's just steroids.
This is what people don't realize. When he died, He died with the brain of an 80-year-old man.
Yeah, and they said it.
His brain was
They said
shot when he
it was
died.
shot. And it's the shit that you
So
inject in yourself. Back then, it was so common.
it breaks my heart because
Yeah.
that wasn't his son's demons to bear. But
It's not.
unfortunately, because he looked just like his father, and he really do.
He
Splitting
does.
image.
Well,
does.
I don't know. I don't know if he do. I'm gonna
He's
look it up.
gonna.
Oh, but you can see it.
He's
You can see it.
unfortunately.
It's
He looks
there.
like him.
It's there.
Based
Yeah,
off
it's
his
there.
looks. Based off his looks, he's gonna unfortunately always pay for his father's demons because he looked just like the man. It's not fair, but it's what it is, unfortunately.
It is. I just think that if you're gonna go inside the wrestling business, don't use your name. Because yes, you'll get the notoriety, but if you really want to be something better than your father, make your whole different
Change that
name
name.
and do it.
Change that last name.
Change the name.
Yeah.
They see your face. They know you're Benoit, so you don't have like. Here's the difference between someone
He should
that
become
has
a masked wrestler.
No.
I don't know about
Here's the difference between a wrestler that should change their name. It's true. Here's the difference between a wrestler that should change their name and a wrestler that shouldn't change their name. Chris Benoit should change his last name to something else so he could be a better wrestler. The guy that's in NXT that's Steiner's kid.
Rick Steiner's kid. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Why the hell did you change his freaking name? He's a freaking Steiner. You call him
what
Steiner.
I don't understand because now
Braun Breaker. His name is Braun Breaker.
Braun Steiner. Look at that. It sounds menacing.
Oh my God, guys. We have come to the part of the night where I ask you the question of the night. Last week, my question of the night had to do with Hangman Adam Page. And this week it does as well. Because I am writing on this and I want to know what you guys think. So give me your quick thoughts on this question. Is Hangman Adam Page, with everything that's been happening lately, still next in line to get the AEW championship belt?
Absolutely, because if you follow storylines and AEW loves long-term storytelling, as we can see, you have to crown him as the next champion to beat Kenny Omega because the history and the story is already there. If you do not, that will be a shock
and a loss of
but
time.
They have to follow tradition because they are a traditional type of company as far as storytelling. So don't break it now just because. No, stick to the script.
Stick to the script. Eli?
I think it would be a huge misstep for AEW to overlook possibly the most over original AEW member on their roster, which is Hangman Adam Page. He has been presented to be on some AEW shows coming up very soon
in November.
So
I think my action figures downstairs, my Hangman Page.
But so my answer is yes. Hangman Adam Page. I think he's the next one to challenge for the title, and it should be him. The story's there. Everything is there.
Kiki!
Absolutely.
Kiki, what you think, Kiki?
Look at her.
My answer is freaking Claro que sí, of course, because they already told you right off the bat on Wednesday. If Daniel Bryan was going to fight Kenny Omega and Hangman was not involved, it would have been for the belt. He would have egged Kenny on. Okay, it's for the freaking belt. Then we went for the draw, and then we would have had Bryan versus Kenny Omega in November. But we had a draw and a non-title match, which we'll get a 4 against 4, which then we'll get a 2 against 2, which then we'll get to something. But right now, as B-Max said, because he's a T-spiller, he's coming back in November.
That's what I'm thinking.
Kenny is going to fight somebody. Kenny is going to fight somebody in November.
But it's not going to be Hangman.
No, it's not going to be Hangman.
That's going to be Revolution.
Yes, because Hangman's not in the rankings.
Yes.
Exactly. Hangman is not in the rankings right now, so by the rankings law, he has to come back up. He'll come back in November, and then he'll say, you know what, now I'm ready, I'm revitalized, now I'm going after the championship, and now he goes up the rank and fights all his demons. He fights the Young Bucks one by one. He fights Evil Uno if he's still tripping by November. He fights freaking Hobbs. He fights everyone that ever doubted him.
Right.
And by the time Revolution comes, he's ready to take the belt.
Because
Because
let's be honest.
I agree
Alice,
with you, Kiki.
Kenny, the moment he gets beat by Kenny, Hangman Page,
Eli's
he's going to
dying.
take a sabbatical because he's going to have to rest his injuries. When he gets beat by Hangman Page, he's going to take time off TV, and that's going to be it.
Yeah.
Kiki, I agree with you that the whole way that Adam Page has to come back is gaining his confidence by whooping people's asses, because he left with no confidence, down on the ground. He left the Dark Order. He had to figure it out on his own.
Exercise all them demons when he come back. Every last one of them.
Gonna every one of them
has
up. Boom, 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 boom. I can't wait. Guys, this has been amazing.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining me. I would love for you guys to come back at some point.
Listen,
Please.
Queen, we got time for you. All right.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all. This was a lot of fun. But he said, you guys have so much knowledge, and I would love to have you guys back on. For everybody that was in the chat, thank you for joining. I appreciate y'all. Please hit that like if you didn't already. And guys, as it says there, follow BMAC, Alex, and Eli on Twitter, and subscribe to the Midwest Marks and Alex Coquito's podcast. All of the links are in the description. Follow, subscribe, support. And if you don't follow me already, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Top Rope Squishy, and subscribe to my show. And of course, as always, check out the merch, amazing merch that my husband designs, because he is amazing. And
listen, you better get them coins.
He does everything. He does my shirts. He does my cups, my sets, everything you see. He's the second half of Top Rope Squishy that people do not see. So everyone, I'm leaving you, as Squishadamus always does, with a lot of love, a lot of peace, but above all, y'all, and always, a lot of wrestling. Thank you, guys. Kiki.
Absolutely.
Yes. Adios.